You turn on your kitchen faucet and fill a glass. In Paris, you drink it without thinking. In Berlin, the same. In Zurich, the locals will tell you the tap water is cleaner than what they sell in bottles. In Tokyo, restaurants serve tap water for free because it is considered better than most filtered alternatives. In America, it depends entirely on which city you live in. In some places, it is among the cleanest water on Earth. In others, it is contaminated with lead, with industrial chemicals, with bacteria the local government quietly knows about. And there is no single national rule that tells you which kind of water comes out of your specific faucet. Same activity, same century. Two completely different relationships with the most basic substance on the planet. Here is the truth about American tap water that the bottled water industry has spent the last 40 years making you forget. The United States does not have one water system. It has more than 50,000 separate water systems, each one managed by a different city, county, water district, or rural utility. Every system pulls from different sources, treats water with different methods, tests at different intervals, reports problems on different timelines, operates under different local budgets. Some are excellent. Some are catastrophically bad. And there is no central agency that aggressively forces them all to the same standard. The Federal Safe Drinking Water Act of 1974 set national rules, but enforcement was handed to individual states, and funding for testing, infrastructure, and replacement of aging pipes was handed to local communities, which means a wealthy suburb in Connecticut has world-class water, and a small town in Mississippi 40 miles away has water its own mayor will not drink. European countries took the opposite approach. Most European Union nations operate water as a national responsibility. National testing. National standards. National funding for infrastructure. A small town in rural Germany gets the same quality water as central Berlin, because the same agency is responsible for both. The same is true across France, the Netherlands, Sweden, and most of Northern Europe. The water is not just safe. It is consistently safe everywhere. In America, your water quality depends on your zip code. In Europe, your water quality depends on your country. Here is where it gets worse. The infrastructure delivering water to American homes is, on average, 60 to 100 years old. Pipes installed in the early 1900s. Lead service lines never replaced. Treatment plants operating with technology from the 1970s. The American Society of Civil Engineers gives American drinking water infrastructure a grade of C-, with an estimated repair and replacement need of $1 trillion over the next 25 years. That trillion-dollar number is not a typo. The pipes carrying your water are quietly decaying, and the cost of replacing them is so high that most cities are simply not doing it. They are patching, hoping, hiding problems until they become emergencies. The Flint, Michigan water crisis was not unique. It was simply the one that the country could not look away from. Then there is what gets added to the water on purpose. Most American municipal water contains chlorine to kill bacteria. Some contains fluoride for tooth health, although this is increasingly debated. Some contains chloramine, which is harder to filter out. Some contains trace amounts of agricultural runoff, pharmaceutical residue, and industrial chemicals that the EPA does not currently regulate at all. A 2024 analysis by the Environmental Working Group found contaminants in tap water serving over 300 million Americans, including PFAS chemicals known as forever chemicals, which do not break down in the body and have been linked to multiple health issues. These chemicals are present in measurable amounts in water systems serving major cities across the country. There is currently no federal limit on most of them. Compare that to Europe. The European Union restricts over 500 different substances in drinking water and updates its regulations every few years. The United States regulates approximately 90. European countries regularly publish public water quality reports in plain language that residents can actually read. American residents have to dig through dense annual reports filled with chemical names and acronyms to figure out what is in their own water. This is why bottled water exists in America in the volumes it does. The bottled water industry in the United States is worth over $40 billion per year. Americans drink more bottled water than any other beverage, including soda. The single largest reason is not preference. It is mistrust. People do not believe their tap water is safe, and the industry has spent decades reinforcing that belief through marketing, even though independent testing repeatedly shows that most American bottled water is essentially the same tap water filtered slightly differently. You are paying 2,000 times more per gallon for water that came out of a municipal source in another state and was repackaged into plastic. Here is the most surprising part of the story. The single largest predictor of American tap water quality is not climate, not technology, not federal regulation. It is local political will. Cities that have invested aggressively in water infrastructure over the last 20 years, regardless of their region or income level, have excellent water. Cities that have deferred infrastructure spending have problems. The variable is not nature. It is whether the people running your city decided to spend money on the pipes you cannot see. This is also why two neighboring towns in the same state can have completely different water quality. One has updated treatment facilities and lead-free pipes. The other has not. Same river, same climate, same federal rules. Completely different outcomes, based entirely on local decisions made by city councils most residents do not pay attention to. Compare two glasses of water for a moment. A glass of tap water in Amsterdam comes from a national system designed by engineers held to a single national standard, tested constantly, and delivered through infrastructure the government considers a public obligation to maintain. A Dutch person filling it is not making a calculated risk. They are receiving a service their country guarantees. A glass of tap water in an American city comes from one of 50,000 systems, tested under standards your state government chose, delivered through pipes that may be older than your great-grandparents, treated by a facility your local city council may or may not have funded properly. You are not receiving a guaranteed service. You are gambling on whether your particular zip code happened to fall under a competent water utility. Some Americans win that gamble, others do not. And the only way to know which side you are on is to dig through your own city water report and decode it yourself. This is why your bottled water market is so massive. This is why home filter systems sell so well. This is why every American kitchen has either a Brita pitcher, an under-sink filter, or a refrigerator door filter. Americans have quietly built a private filtration economy because the public water system cannot be uniformly trusted. Europeans drink tap water because they trust the system. Americans buy filters because they cannot. Read that backwards. The choice is not personal preference. It is institutional trust. And in America, the institution has spent half a century telling residents to handle the problem themselves rather than fixing the underlying system. Every glass of tap water you fill is, in a small way, a decision your local government made about how much it cares about your zip code. A decision your state government made about how much it cares about your local government. A decision your federal government made in 1974 to outsource the entire problem. Now you know. Where do you live and do you drink your tap water straight from the faucet? Drop it in the comments. I want to see how this varies across this channel. If you learned something today, share this with someone who is paying $400 a year for bottled water their own tap water could replace. They deserve to know too.